You are about to hear the story of a legend, staring down the impossible. We're talking about Lindsey Vonn, one of the greatest ski racers ever, and she is facing her most defiant, most improbable, and most personal race yet. Believe me, this is not just another comeback story. This is the final downhill.
And right there, in her own words, you get the essence of who Lindsey Vonn is. Her whole career has been this tightrope walk, right on the very edge of what's possible. It's exactly why she's a legend, and it's also why her body has paid such an unbelievable price.
And then, the news that just makes your stomach drop. Just days, literally days before the 2026 Winter Olympics in Cortina, the announcement comes out. A complete ACL tear in her left knee. For pretty much any other athlete on the planet, that's it. It's over. Season's done. Career's done.
So you have to ask, right? After an entire career that was built on these spectacular injuries, followed by even more spectacular comebacks, is this the one? Is this the crash she can't just walk away from?
The stage for this final act? Well, it's set in Cortina, Italy, a place that's just packed with history for Vonn. And now, it's the site of what might be her last unbelievable comeback.
So, get this. Just 3 days after that devastating announcement, she was back in the start gate. And she wasn't just coasting down. No, she skied with confidence, with this incredible smoothness. It was like she was sending a message to the whole world. But really, she was sending it to herself. I'm not done. I'm here to race.
But look, to really understand how she could even attempt something like this, you have to look at her past. Because as wild as this all seems, it's actually kind of predictable for her. Her entire career has been a masterclass in resilience. I mean, just listen to this highlight reel of her grit. In 2006, she gets airlifted off the mountain, and she's competing 2 days later. In 2010, she wins a gold medal in what she called the most painful injury of her entire life. 2014, okay, she misses the games, but then in 2018, she competes with loose cartilage just floating around in her knee. You see what I mean? This isn't a fluke. This is her pattern. But that constant battle, it really took its toll. And it led to an ending back in 2019 that she was pretty much forced into, not one that she chose for herself. So when she finally did retire, she had 82 World Cup wins. Just let that sink in. 82. At the time, that was more than any woman in history, a number that just cements her status as an all-time great. No question.
But at 34, her body basically just said no more. The pain, the surgeries, the rehab, it was endless. The decision was made for her. So she was forced to retire, and she started that really hard process of figuring out who you are when you're not the fastest woman on the mountain anymore.
But in that new life, something happened. A heartbreaking loss that would completely change everything for her and reframe what it even means to compete.
In August of 2022, her mother, Linda, passed away after a year-long fight with ALS. You know, her mom had always been this huge inspiration for all her comebacks, but this loss, it just shifted something deep inside of Vonn. It fundamentally changed her approach to life.
And this quote, this says it all about that shift. If I fail, who cares? My legacy is not about winning, it's about trying. All of a sudden, that fear, the fear of tarnishing her legacy, it just evaporated. She realized the only real failure would be not to try at all.
So now when she gets in that start gate, she's not alone. On her helmet, she wears the initials of what she calls her angel army. LK for her mom, Linda. LC for her dog, Lucy. ES for her longtime coach, Eric Saylor, and others. She carries all of them with her down the mountain.
So, armed with this totally new motivation, she started this long, painstaking process of not just healing, but completely rebuilding herself, body and spirit, for one last run. And her approach was so methodical. In April of 2024, she gets a partial knee replacement that finally lets her straighten her leg properly. She started doing exercises she hadn't been able to do in years, packed on 12 pounds of solid muscle, and, this is the incredible part, she came back stronger and more technically sound than she was when she retired.
But the rebuilding wasn't just physical. As she was getting ready for this huge comeback, she found a new little partner to share the whole journey with.
She was still grieving her dog Lucy, and she found this Cavalier King Charles Spaniel puppy on an adoption site, and his name was already Chance. Vonn said it was just poetic. "That's my boy," she said. "This is my second chance." And all of this, the incredible pain, the loss, the rebuilding, the new puppy, it all leads right back to one single moment.
back to Cortina, standing in that final starting gate.
And you got to understand, this course is so special to her. It's where she got her first ever World Cup podium way back in 2004 as a teenager. She's won on this mountain 12 times. That's more than anywhere else on the planet. If there was ever a place for a final race, it had to be here.
Before he passed away, her coach Eric Seiler gave her this one last piece of advice before her last race in 2019, when she was in so much pain. He just said, "What's 90 seconds in a lifetime?" And that's become her mantra. 90 seconds of just pure, all-out effort.
And that's really the heart of it all. This final race, with a torn ACL and all the odds stacked against her, it was never about winning another medal. It was about taking back control. It was about ending her incredible career on her terms, in the one place she could still decide her own fate, right there, in the starting gate. So it kind of leaves us with this question, right? When you look at a career like Lindsey Vonn's, what is the true measure of a champion? Is it about all the medals they collect? Or is it about the courage to get in the gate one last time for a battle that everyone else says is already lost?